Your diesel has a hidden second tank you're constantly filling, and almost nobody explains what really comes with it. That small blue cap next to your fuel filler looks harmless, until one day your dashboard lights up and your car refuses to start. I'm talking about AdBlue, also known as DEF, and the problems behind it are far bigger than most owners expect. When you bought your diesel, chances are the salesperson brushed it off. Just top it up every few thousand miles, nothing to worry about. What they didn't tell you is this fluid can quietly drain your wallet, create unexpected failures, and leave you stranded when you least expect it. These are issues older diesel engines never had to deal with. Stick with me, because understanding this system early can save you thousands in repairs and a lot of frustration down the road. First, what is AdBlue? It's a mix of 32.5% urea and 67.5% purified water. Your vehicle injects it into the exhaust, where it reacts with harmful nitrogen oxides and turns them into harmless nitrogen and water vapor using the SCR system. On paper, it sounds simple. Just refill it and move on. But here's where reality hits. The first problem is cost, and it adds up faster than most people realize. Depending on how you drive, your car will use roughly 1 to 3 liters of AdBlue every 1,000 kilometers. A typical 10-liter container can cost anywhere from $15 to $30. Over a year of driving, that can easily mean spending a few $100s just on this fluid alone. And over time, it climbs into the thousands. Older diesel engines didn't have this system, which means this is an added expense that didn't exist before. The second issue is quality, and this is where things start getting risky. Not all AdBlue is the same. Lower quality or contaminated fluid can cause serious damage inside the system. It can lead to crystallization in the injector, clog the SCR components, and even damage sensitive sensors. The worst part is you won't notice immediately. The damage builds slowly, and by the time warning lights appear, the repair bill can already be significant. We're just getting started, because the next problem is where most diesel owners get caught off guard. AdBlue systems are extremely sensitive to how they're used, and small habits can lead to big failures. One major issue is crystallization. When AdBlue dries out or doesn't circulate properly, it forms hard crystal deposits inside the injector, lines, and dosing module. Over time, these deposits build up and restrict flow until the system can't function correctly. This happens more often than you'd expect. Short trips are one of the biggest causes because the system never gets hot enough to operate efficiently. Letting the tank run too low can also introduce air, which speeds up drying and crystal formation. At first, the signs are subtle. You might notice higher fluid consumption or occasional warnings. Then suddenly, the vehicle drops into reduced power mode, or worse, refuses to start at all. That leads to another serious problem. Modern diesel vehicles are programmed with a countdown system. If the AdBlue level is low or a fault is detected, the car begins warning you with messages like limited distance until restart blocked. The countdown continues dropping from hundreds of miles down to 0. And once it hits 0, the engine will not start. Not reduce performance, not limp mode, completely disabled. This is a hard lockout built into the vehicle's system to meet emissions rules. If it happens at the wrong time, like a weekend or late night, you're stuck with no quick fix. Cold weather makes things even worse. AdBlue freezes just below -1 degree Celsius. Vehicles use heaters to prevent this, but if that system fails, frozen fluid can expand and damage the tank, lines, or components. Even when everything works, those heaters draw power. In very cold conditions, a weak battery may struggle to handle both heating the system and starting the engine, in creating another layer of risk. Another overlooked issue is shelf life. AdBlue doesn't last forever. Heat, sunlight, and time break it down, reducing its effectiveness. When degraded fluid is used, emissions levels rise, triggering sensor warnings and system faults. This again leads to warning lights, performance issues, and eventually that same countdown toward a no-start situation. The system isn't forgiving, and small neglect can quickly turn into expensive consequences. And most drivers never see it coming until it's too late, because the final problem is complexity, and this is where costs really explode. The AdBlue system isn't just a tank and a pump. It includes the tank itself, a dosing module, injector, multiple NOx sensors, temperature sensors, the SCR catalyst, and a control system constantly monitoring everything. When something fails, finding the exact cause isn't simple. Most independent mechanics don't have the specialized diagnostic tools required, which means you're often forced to go to a dealership. Just diagnosing the issue can cost a few $100s before any repair even begins. And here's the catch: many of these components aren't repairable. They're sealed units. If one part fails, it usually has to be replaced completely at full cost. Injectors can cost hundreds. Sensors add even more. But the most expensive failure is the SCR catalyst itself. If it becomes contaminated or clogged, replacement can run into the thousands. This is the kind of repair that catches owners completely off guard. There are warning signs, but you have to pay attention. Increasing AdBlue consumption, repeated warning messages, use or slight drops in performance can all point to early trouble. Ignoring them is what turns a small issue into a major repair. So what can you actually do to protect yourself? Always use high-quality AdBlue that meets proper standards and avoid cheap or questionable sources. Keep the tank above a quarter full to prevent air entering the system. If your driving is mostly short trips, make sure to take longer drives occasionally to let the system fully operate. Store any extra fluid properly, sealed and away from heat or sunlight, and don't keep it for too long. Most importantly, never ignore warnings. Acting early can save you thousands. The reality is simple. AdBlue made diesel engines cleaner, but also more complicated and more expensive to maintain. Older diesels were simpler and more forgiving. Modern ones demand attention. And if you ignore that, they will punish you for it. This isn't just a fluid. It's an entire system that can fail. And when it does, it hits hard.